Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing. And before there was nothing, there were monsters. This is the Lich speaking through Sweet Pea's body in the 6th season episode, Gold Stars, aired January 29th, 2015. The transcript of the episode confirms the exact words. He delivers them to the King of Oo and Toronto, who have made the mistake of threatening him. And the words arrive with all the weight of something that has been true for longer than the universe has existed. He is not making a threat. He is providing context. He is telling two small, greedy, foolish creatures something about the nature of reality, something that was true before they existed, before anything existed, before the concept of existence had a framework to stand in, and before there was nothing, there were monsters. He is one of those monsters. Tonight we're going through the Lich in full, not as a villain, not as an obstacle for Finn and Jake to defeat every season, but as the specific cosmic entity Adventure Time built across 10 seasons and multiple specials, from the Green Comet in Evergreen to the Last Scholar of Golb, Revelation in Whispers, to the extinct world of Fiona and Cake, where we find out what happens when the Lich actually succeeds, what he was trying to do, why he was trying to do it, and what the show's final answer is to the question of what the Lich really wanted all along, because the answer is not what most people think, and when you have the full picture, it changes everything about how you read the show's ending. Get comfortable. This is the longest one. Subscribe if you haven't. It keeps us here. It means more than I know how to say. Let's start before the universe. The Adventure Time wiki on the Lich documents the origin with precision. In the episode Gold Stars, the Lich implies he is older than existence itself, a survivor of a time before there was nothing. He did not come from the universe. The universe came from whatever came after him. He is one of the primordial monsters, entities that preceded the void, that existed in a state the universe's current categories cannot fully describe. Time, space, causality. These are properties of the universe that came after the monsters. The Lich predates them. This matters for understanding what the Lich is and what he wants, because it means his perspective on existence is fundamentally different from any being who was born into the universe. Every creature in Adventure Time's world, every human, every magical being, every elemental, every cosmic entity that emerged from the universe's development understands existence from the inside. They were born into it. They experience time moving forward. They understand causality as the structure that connects one moment to the next. The Lich does not have this relationship to existence. He was there before existence. He watched existence begin. He has been inside it for however long it has been running, 65 million years at minimum, since his green comet struck Earth in the Cretaceous period and caused the KT extinction event that killed the dinosaurs. He watched everything come from nothing. He is not, in any ordinary sense, a resident of the universe. He is a survivor of what came before it, who has been moving through it since the beginning. The catalyst comet mechanism. The Lich's essence was carried to Earth inside a green catalyst comet. The episode Evergreen, Season 6, Episode 8, documents this specifically. A green comet approached Earth 65 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. It bore a resemblance to the Lich, as evidenced by its green coloration and horn-like flames, per the Adventure Time wiki. The comet was implied to have caused the KT extinction event that killed the dinosaurs. The Lich did not simply arrive on Earth and start working. His essence was embedded in the planet's geology through the comet's impact, in the specific materials, the crater, the chemical aftermath of the impact. For 65 million years, the extinction principle was dormant in the Earth's crust. When the mushroom bomb detonated, it activated what the comet's impact had embedded. The bomb's mutagenic materials interacted with the dormant Lich essence and produced, through a person submerged in mutagenic waste, the Lich's physical form as we encounter him in Adventure Time. The mushroom bomb was not simply a nuclear weapon. It was the mechanism that woke something 65 million years old. The war ended civilization and released the Lich simultaneously. Both consequences of the same detonation. The humans who made the bomb did not know what they were waking. Now let's talk about what the Lich actually wanted, because the surface answer, extinction, kill everything, destroy all life, is accurate, but incomplete. It describes the what without the why, and the why is where the show gets genuinely dark and genuinely strange. The Whispers, Revelation, Season 9, Episode 13. The Lich, operating through his severed hand after the events of Crossover, whispers to Sweet Pea during the night. The Lich's power still present in the body he was given by Finn's action with Guardian blood. And in Whispers, the Lich reveals two things about himself that reframe his entire history. He calls himself the Ceaseless Wheel, and he calls himself the Last Scholar of Golb. Two names, two aspects of what he is.
The Adventure Time wiki on the Scholars of Golb documents the second. The Scholars of Golb are beings who study Golb's philosophy and ways, dedicating themselves to chaos and the extinction of all life. And the Lich, a primordial monster and incarnation of the Green Catalyst Comet, is the last known scholar of Golby. He exhibited a religious devotion to Golb, often prostrating and chanting in prayer. Religious devotion. The Lich does not simply want extinction for its own sake. He wants extinction in honor of something. He is the last practitioner of a philosophical and religious tradition, the Scholars of Golb, that dedicated itself to understanding and serving Golb, the entity that the show identifies as the embodiment of chaos, entropy, and disorder, Golby. The Adventure Time wiki describes it. Golb, later known as Golbetti, is a malevolent entity who is the embodiment of chaos, entropy, and disorder. He inhabits an unknown dimension and is the overarching antagonist of the Adventure Time franchise. Golb predates the universe alongside the other primordial monsters. Golb is the principle of chaos, made into an entity, not a being who causes chaos, but a being who is chaos. In the same way, the Lich is the extinction principle made into an entity. The Lich's relationship to Golby is not simply that of a servant to a master. It is the relationship of a devotee to a divine principle. The TV Tropes character page for the Lich, well done Sun Guy. Fiona and Cake's finale reveals that he only wants to kill everything because he thinks it will impress Golb. Golb didn't seem appreciative. This is the show's most devastating characterization of the Lich's true motivation, and we'll return to it when we get to the Fiona and Cake finale. But first, what does Golb want? What is the Lich trying to honor through extinction? The Adventure Time wiki on Golb. It is the embodiment of chaos, entropy, and disorder. Entropy is the physical principle that describes how systems move from order to disorder, how complexity decreases over time, how energy dissipates, how organized structures break down. In thermodynamics, maximum entropy is the state of maximum disorder, a universe with no temperature differences, no energy gradients, no organized structures, heat, death, everything spread evenly, nothing happening anywhere. Golby, as the embodiment of entropy, wants the universe to reach maximum entropy, the dissolution of all organized structures, all complexity reduced to uniformity, all life, which is the most ordered and improbable thing the universe produces, return to the undifferentiated chaos from which the universe emerged. The Lich, as Golb's last scholar and devoted servant, is trying to help the universe reach its natural terminus. He is not a villain who wants destruction for personal satisfaction. He is a religious fanatic who believes that the extinction of all life is the sacred duty Golb has laid upon him, and who has dedicated his entire existence, a very long existence, longer than the dinosaurs, longer than modern Earth, to completing this mission. The Lich believes he is doing Golb's will. This is the most important thing to understand about what the Lich was really trying to do all along. He was not simply evil, he was devout. Now let's trace what he actually did across the show, because the execution of his mission is a masterclass in patience and strategic planning that the show's casual viewer rarely fully registers. First appearance, his hero, Season 1, Episode 25. Billy, the greatest hero who ever lived, defeated the Lich and imprisoned him in a tree of amber in the heart of the Candy Kingdom. The Lich has been there, dormant, for centuries. He has been waiting. The wiki notes his character is defined by an extreme willingness to be patient. Given his lack of aging and lack of most emotions, he is more than happy waiting centuries for the exact right moment to do whatever is necessary. He waits in the amber. He does not move. He does not struggle. He simply exists in the amber. and waits for the circumstances to change enough that he can act. The circumstances change when the Lich snail, a small waving snail in the Candy Kingdom that the Lich has possessed or influenced, finds a way to crack his prison. The Season 1 finale, Mortal Folly, begins with this crack. The Lich is free. His first action after being freed, he does not start killing indiscriminately. He goes directly to his well of power, the mutagenic waste pool connected to the Mushroom Bomb's legacy, to restore his full strength. He is methodical. He knows he has been weakened by imprisonment. He repairs himself before engaging his enemies. This is a being who is not driven by rage or urgency. He is driven by mission, and the mission requires adequate preparation. When Princess Bubblegum interrupts his restoration, he possesses her. Mortal Recoil documents the possession, the Lich inside PB, operating through her body, gathering information about his environment while appearing to be recovering from an accident. He is using the possession strategically. He is learning what has changed in the centuries he was imprisoned. Season 4's finale, The Lich, contains his most direct statement of purpose from the early seasons, the Billy Disguise Gambit. The Lich, having killed Billy and taken his body, tricks Finn and Jake into gathering the gems of the Enchiridion, which will allow him to open a portal to Prismo's time room and make a wish. Finn and Jake help him without knowing who they're helping. The manipulation is precise and patient. He does not simply attack, he recruits help through deception. The Wish. In Season 5's premiere, Finn the human / Jake the dog, the Lich reaches Prismo and makes his wish that all life in the universe ceases to exist. The Adventure Time wiki confirms this is the wish that creates the Farm World timeline, where Finn's counter-wish, the Lich never even ever existed, redirects the wish's consequences. In the Farm World timeline, the Lich's wish effectively succeeded, not in Finn's main timeline, where Jake's wish undoes it, but in the reality that the original wish created. After the Farm World arc, the Lich kills Prismo, the only being capable of granting reality-altering wishes, by waking up the sleeping human whose dreams Prismo inhabited. He removes the asset. He destroys the mechanism that could be used against him. This is the action of someone who is thinking several moves ahead. He doesn't just use Prismo, he destroys Prismo after using him, so that Prismo cannot be used in future by others who might wish against him. The Citadel plan. The Lich's next move, after being transported to the Citadel as a prisoner, is to immediately begin corrupting the other prisoners through his grey plague, turning them to his will through physical contact. He is in a cosmic prison, and within minutes of arriving, he is using it as a recruitment tool. He destroys the Citadel Guardians, releases the prisoners, and then delivers his monologue to Finn. The monologue in Escape from the Citadel is one of the finest pieces of villain writing in animated television, and it deserves to be read precisely. The transcript of the episode confirms, "Fall, you are alone, child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning. I will command a great and terrible army, and we will sail to 1,000,000,000 worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength. I am the end, and I have come for you, Finn. 1,000,000,000 worlds. Not just not just Earth. The Lich's mission is not to extinguish life on one planet. It is to sail to 1,000,000,000 worlds and extinguish all light in all of them." He is describing the full scope of what serving Golb means. The extinction, not of one civilization, but of every living thing in the universe, across every world that has life on it. The extinction principle does not distinguish. Every light, everywhere. I am beyond strength. This is the key line. The Lich is not claiming to be physically stronger than Finn, though he is. He is claiming to be categorically different from strength, a principle rather than a capacity. You can overcome strength with more strength. You cannot overcome a principle with strength. He is the end. He is what happens to everything, not through force, but through inevitability. The Guardian's blood transforms him into Sweet Pea. This is the moment the show changes what the Lich is. He has been, up to this point, a direct physical threat, a being whose power can be opposed by sufficient heroic action. The Guardian's blood, the healing material of entities designed to contain cosmic criminals, rewrites his physical form. He becomes Sweet Pea, an enormous gentle child, with the Lich's power dormant inside him. Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig adopt him. The Lich is living with Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig. He is going to school. He is having nightmares about the realm of monsters from before time. He is, in the new form imposed on him by Finn's action, a child learning to exist in the world he was trying to destroy. Gold Stars, Season 6, Episode 26, aired January 29th, 2015. Sweet Pea's first day of school. The King of Ooh and Toronto take advantage of him, threaten him, and trigger the Lich's emergence. And the Lich speaks through Sweet Pea's mouth, the words that open this video. Before time, before anything, before nothing, there were monsters. This is the Lich explaining his own ontology to the King of Ooh and Toronto. He is not making a villain speech. He is providing cosmological context. He has been here longer than any of them can comprehend. The King of Ooh's schemes, Toronto's legal maneuvering, Sweet Pea's first day of school. These are the thinnest imaginable veneer over the deepest possible reality. And the Lich, briefly surfacing through Sweet Pea, is pointing at that reality.
Here's your gold star. What's notable about the gold stars moment? The Lich doesn't kill the King of Ooh and Toronto. He terrifies them and lets them go. The gold star speech. Here's your gold star is contemptuous, but not lethal. The Lich, in Sweet Pea's body, is not actively pursuing extinction. He is contained in Sweet Pea's form and has access to his power when sufficiently triggered, but the containment limits his expression. The form he was given by the heroism principle's action limits what the extinction principle can do. Whispers, Season 9, Episode 13. The severed Lich hand, the hand that was cut off by Finn's grass arm in Crossover when the Lich possessed Farmworld Jake, has found its way to Sweet Pea's bedroom. It whispers to him at night, and through the whispers, the Lich reveals his names: the Ceaseless Wheel, the Last Scholar of Golb. He is trying to reclaim his vessel. He is trying to wake up inside Sweet Pea fully enough to resume his mission. Sweet Pea refuses. This is the show's most significant statement about what the heroism principle's action in Escape from the Citadel produced. A being who has the extinction principle inside them and chooses not to use it. Sweet Pea, who is gentle, who loves tree trunks and Mr. Pig, who cried when kids called him a baby man, stabs the Lich hand. He destroys it. He says no. The extinction principle, given a body that learned to love, cannot override the love. The Adventure Time wiki on Sweet Pea and Whispers. The episode is, Fern begins to crack under his own insecurity as a subplot, while Sweet Pea deals with possible Lich-related nightmares. The Lich's attempt to reassert himself through the Whispers fails. Sweet Pea, in the moment of crisis, chooses to be Sweet Pea rather than become the Lich again.
Now let's jump forward to the most important piece of Lich mythology the show ever produced, the Fiona and Cake specials, and specifically the Jerry episode and the Casper and Nova episode from the Fiona and Cake spin-off. These episodes contain the full revelation of what the Lich was really trying to do, and they arrive in 2023, 5 years after the main show ended. The extinct world. In a parallel timeline, the timeline where the Lich's wish to Prismo actually worked, where all life in the universe was extinguished, the Lich has succeeded. He achieved his mission. Every light has been extinguished. Every world has been sailed to. The extinction is complete. The Adventure Time wiki on the Lich. Extinct world. A version of the original Lich remained trapped in the extinct world. Despite having achieved victory, the Lich came to realize that by destroying all life in the universe, it had completely lost its purpose, and so became depressed. He sits alone on a pile of bones. The universe is dead. He won, and he is profoundly, utterly miserable. BMO is the only surviving entity in this world. BMO is a robot, not technically alive, and the wish's parameters exempted him. BMO has given the Lich a name, Jerry. He calls the Lich Jerry. The Lich, the primordial monster, the last scholar of GOLB, the being who predates existence itself, is called Jerry by a small robot video game console and sits on a pile of bones in a dead universe, doing nothing, because doing nothing is all that is left. When Simon, Fiona, and Cake accidentally arrive in the extinct world, the Lich initially seems to prepare to kill them. New life, however temporary, is within his reach, but he doesn't. The wiki. When new life arrived, and the opportunity to kill presented itself, the Lich chose not to act. He admitted that achieving extinction had given him no satisfaction, because it had not brought him closer to Golb, nor earned any recognition. No satisfaction. Not even the momentary pleasure of completing the task. The task is done,
and it gave him nothing, because the task was never the point. The task was always instrumental, a means to an end, not the end itself. The real goal was Golb. The real goal was getting Golb's attention. The real goal was becoming Golb's vessel, earning Golb's recognition, having his devotion acknowledged by the being he had organized his entire existence around serving. And Golb said nothing. Golb gave no sign. Golby, when the mission was complete, continued doing whatever Golb does in its dimension, without acknowledging the Lich at all. The TV Tropes character page. Well done, son, Guy. Fiona and Cake's finale reveals that he only wants to kill everything because he thinks it will impress Golb. Golby didn't seem appreciative. This is the show's final answer to what the Lich was really trying to do all along. He was not, at the deepest level, trying to extinguish all life for philosophical or existential reasons. He was trying to earn the attention and recognition of the being he worshipped. He was devout. He served. He completed every act of service his devotion demanded, and Golb ignored him. The Casper and Nova episode of Fiona and Cake brings this to its most explicit conclusion. The extinct world Lich, having followed Simon and Scarab through a portal into Golb's dimension, finally gets the audience with Golb he has spent his entire existence trying to earn. He prostrates himself. He chants. He tears away his flesh to the skeleton, exposing himself entirely, performing the full act of devotion. He demands to know, having completed my mission, having extinguished every light across 1 billion worlds, having done everything in your name, what more can I do for you? Golb's response, it transforms the Lich into a floating T-block, a Tetris piece, floating around Golb's head, alongside the other green shapes that orbit it. The TV Tropes character page on the Lich. Well done, son, Guy. Fiona and Cake's finale reveals that he only wants to kill everything because he thinks it will impress Golb. Golby didn't seem appreciative. Golb was not impressed. Golb did not acknowledge the devotion. Golb did not welcome the Lich as a vessel or reward him with recognition. Golb transformed him into a geometric shape and continued doing whatever Golb does. The extinction of all life in the universe, accomplished by the last scholar of the oldest philosophy in existence, was acknowledged by the god it was performed in honor of, with the same energy a child gives to a toy it has finished playing with. It was absorbed into the collection orbiting the entity's head. The Lich, who preached, "I am the end," became a Tetris block. This is the show's darkest and most specific statement about nihilistic devotion. The god does not notice. You can perform every act of service. You can extinguish every light. You can sail to 1 billion worlds. And the being you did it all for might simply turn you into a floating shape and drift past you in its infinite indifference. The Scholars of Golb wiki entry is precise about this. The Scholars of Golb, exemplified by the Lich as the last scholar, do not aim for omni-extinction. This is the critical clarification. Omni-extinction was not the goal, it was the method. The goal was Golb. The goal was always Golb. The goal was to honor Golb well enough, to serve Golb faithfully enough, to earn whatever a being like Golb can offer a being like the Lich. And it didn't work. Now I want to spend time with what this means for how you read the Lich's presence in the main series. Because the revelation from Fiona and Cake retroactively reframes every Lich moment in Adventure Time as the expression of a religious devotion that is fundamentally tragic. Not tragic because the devotion is wrong. It isn't. Exactly. Golb is real. The chaos principle is real. But tragic because the devotion is unrequitable. The Lich is trying to get Golb to see him. Golby, as the embodiment of chaos, does not have the capacity to acknowledge individuals. Chaos does not reward its servants. Entropy does not recognize the agents who serve it. The heat death of the universe, when it arrives, will not thank the extinction principle for its contribution. The Lich's devotion is real. Its object is fundamentally indifferent to devotion. This is the structure of his tragedy, the Ceaseless Wheel name. The Lich also calls himself the Ceaseless Wheel in Whispers. The Adventure Time theory's blog notes. The Lich refers to himself as a wheel, possibly because he is an endless cycle that can never die and always returns. He dies, he returns, he is defeated, he comes back, he is imprisoned, he escapes, he is transformed, he whispers through a severed hand, he always comes back, not through willpower or through a specific power to resurrect. He comes back
because he is a principle. The extinction principle cannot be permanently defeated, any more than entropy can be permanently defeated. It is always there. When the conditions are right, it re-emerges. The ceaseless wheel name is also a description of the Lich's relationship to Golb's mission as he understands it. He does not see himself as an agent who will be released from service when the mission is done. He is the ceaseless wheel, the mechanism that keeps turning, that never stops, that is identical to its function. He is not separate from what he does. He is what he does. He is extinction as process, rather than extinction as event. This is why the extinct world revelation is so devastating for him. He believed completing the mission would bring him closer to Golb, would allow him to become Golb's vessel, would give the ceaseless wheel somewhere to turn toward, rather than just ceaselessly turning. He believed that finishing the work would produce something beyond the work, a recognition, a welcome, a unity with the principle he had devoted himself to. The work finished. There was only the pile of bones and the silence, and BMO calling him Jerry. Let's come back to the main timeline, because the main timeline Lich's fate is different, and in some ways more interesting. The Guardian's blood transforms him into Sweet Pea. The heroism principle acts, and the extinction principle is given a new body, a body suited for living rather than for ending. This is not a defeat exactly. It is a transformation into something that the extinction principle does not know how to be: innocent. Sweet Pea is genuinely innocent. He is not the Lich wearing a child's face. He is a new person who has the Lich's power dormant inside him, the way anyone might have a capacity for destruction dormant inside them, not yet activated, not yet defining. He cries when kids are mean. He loves tree trunks and Mr. Pig with sincerity. He chooses kindness, not because he lacks the alternative, but because the body he was given and the family he was given to grow up in made kindness available to him in a way it never was to the extinction principle before. The Adventure Time Theory's Tumblr post on the Whispers episode. Sweet Pea isn't the Lich, so much as he was the Lich's host, the conduit through which the Lich entered this timeline, just like how Jake was the vessel through which the Lich entered Farmworld. That is the nature of the Lich. The Lich cannot be defeated by destroying any of his bodily forms, but Sweet Pea stabs the hand, and in Whispers, the Lich's power in the main timeline is effectively defeated, not destroyed, but denied. Sweet Pea has the Lich inside him and refuses to let it out. The extinction principle is still there, in Sweet Pea's body, but Sweet Pea has chosen not to be it. He stabs the hand that whispers. He will not be the vessel. The Adventure Time Wiki on Sweet Pea's future. In the distant future shown in the finale's flash-forward sequence, Sweet Pea has become a mountain. The gentle giant who was given the extinction principle's power and refused to use it has, over the centuries, grown enormous and become part of the landscape. The extinction principle, given a body that chose love and gentleness, became terrain. It became the ground that Shermie and Beth, the heroism principle's next incarnations, will adventure on. The extinction principle became the landscape that the heroism principle traverses. This is the main timeline's answer to the Lich's mission. Not defeat, but transformation. Not extinction, but integration. The principle that was trying to end everything, given a body that could love, became part of the world it was trying to end. It is still there. It will always be there, but it became a mountain, something to climb rather than something to fear. The Sweet Pea Mountain is one of Adventure Time's most specific and most beautiful images. The Lich, who told the King of Oo that before there was nothing, there were monsters. That same entity, given a different context, given parents who love him, given a first day of school, given the choice between destruction and kindness, becomes a mountain in the landscape of the far future. The monsters that predate existence find expression as geology, as something that supports the world rather than ends it. The contrast with the extinct world Lich is total. One Lich completes the mission and becomes a Tetris block in Golb's orbit, alone in a dead universe with BMO calling him Jerry. The other Lich is refused the mission by the body it inhabits and becomes a mountain in a living world where the adventures continue. Both outcomes follow the Lich's nature. In the world where the extinction principle is allowed to express itself fully, it achieves its goal and loses everything. In the world where the extinction principle is given a different container, it becomes something the world can sustain. This is the show's deepest philosophical statement, delivered through the arc of its most powerful villain.
The extinction principle, unrestricted, produces a universe where nothing exists, and the principle itself has no purpose. The extinction principle, given a context that restricts it and redirects it, produces a mountain in a living world. The context matters more than the principle. What you put the extinction principle into changes what it becomes. The Lich was really trying to earn Golb's recognition. He was trying to honor his god well enough to be seen. He spent 65 million years on this mission, across multiple bodies, through imprisonment and defeat and transformation, and whispered attempts at reclamation. He was devout in a way that very few beings in the history of fiction have been devout, completely, permanently, without alternative motivation, without personal ambition beyond the devotion itself. And the god did not see him. And in one timeline, he became a floating Tetris block in the dead universe he created. And in another timeline, he became a mountain. The show is not saying that the Lich was sympathetic. Exactly. It is saying that the Lich's devotion was real, and that reality did not care about the devotion. The extinction principle serving chaos is not rewarded by chaos. The universe does not organize itself around any individual being's purpose, no matter how cosmic that being is. Even the oldest monster, even the last scholar, even the ceaseless wheel. The universe will make you a Tetris block if it wants to, or a mountain, and you will not have been consulted. What the Lich was really trying to do all along was to matter, to Golb, to the thing he organized his existence around, to have the devotion acknowledged by its object. He was the last of the scholars who served that principle. All the others were gone. He alone remained. He did the work alone, across millions of years, across countless defeats and imprisonments and transformations. He was the last one, and the last one did the work and was turned into a Tetris block. That is the Lich's story. That is what he was really trying to do. Not simply to extinguish every light, though he was trying to do that. Not simply to serve entropy, though he was serving entropy. He was trying to be seen by something that was incapable of seeing him. He was trying to make contact with a principle that has no capacity for relationship. He was devout to a god of indifference. The gold star, offered to the king of Oo and Toronto in contempt, is also the gold star the Lich was working toward, the recognition, the good grade, the acknowledgement that the work was done and done well. GOLB gave him nothing. BMO gave him the name Jerry. The heroism principle gave him a body suited for kindness and a mountain in the living world. Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing. And before there was nothing, there were monsters. He was one of those monsters. He served the chaos that predates existence. He worked for longer than most beings can comprehend. He was the last one left doing the work. He became a Tetris block and a mountain, depending on which world you're in. Thank you for spending all of this time tonight. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back. Good night. Expansion. A. What the Lich actually is at every level of the show's cosmology. Let me trace the Lich's nature through every layer of the show's cosmological architecture, because the show builds this picture across 10 seasons, and it's rarely assembled into a single coherent account. Layer 1. The primordial monster. Before the universe, before existence, before nothing, there were monsters. The Lich is one of them. This is not a metaphor. The show presents it as cosmological fact, stated by the Lich himself in gold stars, and supported by the broader mythology. The primordial monsters are beings that predate existence itself. They are not part of the universe. They preceded it. They are whatever was there before the nothing that preceded the universe. This means the Lich's relationship to time is fundamentally different from every other being in the show. Every other character, including the most ancient ones, including Golb, exists within the universe's framework. The Lich exists in the universe the way a fish exists in water. It is the medium it moves through, not the substance of what it is. He has been in the universe since before the universe had developed to the point where life existed on Earth. He will presumably still exist after the universe ends, if it ends. Layer 2. The Green Catalyst Comet. The Lich's essence was carried to Earth embedded in a green catalyst comet. The comet struck Earth 65 million years ago and caused the KT extinction event, the mass die-off that ended the dinosaurs and most other life forms of the Cretaceous period. This is Adventure Time's specific mechanism for how the extinction principle arrived on Earth, via the same comet delivery system that the universe uses for all its agents of change.
the Adventure Time wiki on the Lich. In the episode Gold Stars, the Lich implies he is older than existence itself, a survivor of a time before there was nothing. After that, in some way, his essence was transferred to a catalyst comet, whose task was to kill all living beings in the universe. The transfer to the comet is the moment the Lich became part of the universe's own mechanism. Whatever the primordial monsters are in their original form, the Lich became, through this transfer, an agent of change, the same fundamental role as Finn's blue comet, but expressing the opposite principle. The universe's comet mechanism was used to introduce the extinction principle to Earth. The same mechanism, in a different comet, introduced the heroism principle. Both are products of the same cosmic process. The specific detail that the green comet's task was to kill all living beings in the universe is important. This was not simply the Lich's personal ambition, it was the comet's designated function. The extinction principle was encoded into the comet's mission. Whatever force or entity or mechanism assigns tasks to catalyst comets, and the show doesn't fully articulate this, had designated the green comet for extinction. The Lich is doing what the comet's mission was. Layer 3, the physical manifestation through the mushroom bomb. For 65 million years after the KT impact, the Lich's essence was dormant in the Earth's geology, not active, not working, simply present, embedded in the crater's materials, waiting for the conditions that would allow physical manifestation. The mushroom bomb created those conditions. The bomb's mutagenic materials interacted with whatever remained of the green comet's essence in the Earth's crust. A person fell into the mutagenic waste. The Lich possessed that person and transformed them into the physical form we encounter in the show. The specific timing, the Great Mushroom War, occurred approximately 1,000 years before the present of Adventure Time's main series. The Lich has been physically active in the world for 1,000 years. He was defeated by Billy at some point during this period and imprisoned in amber. He escaped when the Lich snail cracked his prison in Season 1. 1,000 years of imprisonment and waiting. The entity that predates the universe waited patiently inside a tree of amber for 1,000 years, because he knew the amber would eventually give way, because he has no urgency beyond the mission, and infinite patience beyond any human comprehension. Layer 4, the Golby devotion. This is the layer most clearly revealed in Whispers and the Fiona and Cake specials. The Lich is not simply an extinction principle operating independently. He is a scholar, the last scholar, of a philosophical and religious tradition organized around Golb, the embodiment of chaos. His extinction mission is not driven by nihilism or by personal desire. It is driven by devotion. He is doing Golb's work as he understands it. The Scholars of Golby Wiki. The Scholars of Golb are beings who study Golb's philosophy and ways, dedicating themselves to chaos and the extinction of all life. There were others. The Lich is the last. At some point, the other scholars were gone, whether through death, through defeat, through their own versions of the Lich's transformation, we don't know. The Lich continued alone. He is the last practitioner of a philosophical tradition that was already ancient when the universe began. The religious devotion framing transforms the Lich's every action. When he delivers the "I am the end" monologue to Finn, he is not bragging. He is explaining his nature in the terms of his theology. He is the end in the same way a religious figure might describe themselves as the servant of the divine. It is not boasting, it is ontological description. When he says he will command a great and terrible army and sail to 1 billion worlds, he is not describing a personal ambition. He is describing his sacred duty as he understands it. This is what makes the Lich genuinely frightening beyond his power level. He cannot be bargained with, threatened, or reasoned out of his goal, because his goal is not strategic or emotional, it is devotional. The Scholars of Golb Wiki confirms, unlike most hostile monsters, the Lich does not mindlessly murder anything he sees. He is thoughtful, he is patient, he is strategic, and his strategy is entirely in service of a devotion that is complete and immovable. Expansion. B. The Lich's specific strategy and how good at it he actually is. The show is careful to establish that the Lich is an extraordinarily capable strategist, not just powerful, but intelligent about the application of his power in ways that most viewers don't fully register. The Billy Gambit. The Lich kills Billy, the greatest hero who ever lived, the person who defeated and imprisoned him, and takes his body. He then uses Billy's trusted persona to approach Finn and Jake, guide them to gather the gems of the Enchiridion, and lead them to help him make a wish to Prismo. From the moment of Billy's death to the moment the wish is made, the entire plan executes without Finn or Jake realizing they've been manipulated. The plan requires killing Billy, accurately modeling Finn and Jake's behavior, correctly anticipating that they would help Billy's request without question, correctly navigating the specific mechanism of the Enchiridion, and knowing that Prismo could grant a wish of sufficient scope to end all life. The Lich did not guess that Prismo could do this. He knew. He has been in the universe long enough to know its geography, including the locations and capabilities of wish-granting entities. The Prismo assassination. After making his wish, the Lich kills Prismo specifically to prevent Prismo from being used against him in future. This is forward-thinking several moves ahead. He understands that if Prismo remains, someone could potentially wish the effects of his wish away. He removes the threat before it can materialize. He does this without being prompted, without anyone threatening to use Prismo against him, purely from strategic anticipation. The Citadel Plague. When he arrives at the Citadel as a prisoner, he immediately begins corrupting the other prisoners through his grey plague, turning them to his will through physical contact. He is converting a prison population into an army. He is doing this in the presence of guardians designed to contain cosmic criminals, which suggests his plague operates below their detection threshold, or that he judged correctly that the guardians' response time would not prevent his plan from advancing. The Farm World Hand. After the crossover events, where the Lich's hand is severed and scattered across dimensions, one of those hands finds its way to Sweet Pea's bedroom and whispers to him. The hand operates independently. It is not simply a piece of organic material, but a functioning extension of the Lich's purpose, pursuing the mission even when separated from the main body. The Lich has planned for the possibility of physical fragmentation by building the mission into the fragments. The seasonal planning cycle. The Lich's behavior across the show's run demonstrates an extraordinary willingness to do nothing for extended periods, and then act with concentrated force when the moment is right. He waits centuries in amber. He waits during the Farm World arc, while Jake's wish undoes his work, and does not immediately attempt another plan. He lets Sweet Pea exist as Sweet Pea, without asserting himself fully, until the King of Ooh and Toronto trigger the emergence. He is not in a hurry. He has never been in a hurry. He has been working toward this goal for 65 million years. The time frame of an individual human life, or even an individual season of animation, is not a meaningful unit of time for him. This patience is itself a form of strategic advantage. Every other being in the show operates on human-adjacent timescales. Even the oldest beings, like Marceline or PB, measure time in centuries rather than geological epochs. The Lich measures time in mass extinction events. His patience outlasts any specific opposition, because his opposition is mortal, or at least temporal, and he is not. Expansion. The Lich's specific words, and what each speech is doing. The Lich's speeches are among the finest pieces of writing in the show's entire run, and each one deserves careful reading, because each one is doing specific work in establishing what the Lich is and what he wants. His hero. Season 1. The Lich's first appearance is in Billy's legendary tales. We see him being defeated by Billy in the distant past. He is imprisoned. He says nothing in this first appearance. His presence is established purely visually, a massive skeletal figure in green flame, contained in amber. The show begins his mythology without dialogue. Mortal Folly. Season 2. The Lich speaks for the first time in the show's present. His voice, delivered by Ron Perlman, with a specific quality of controlled, ancient menace, is immediately distinctive. He is not loud. He is not dramatic in the way cartoon villains are typically dramatic. He is calm. His calmness is more threatening than rage would be, because it implies certainty. A being who knows it will win eventually does not need to perform urgency. Escape from the Citadel. Season 6. The full monologue. Fall. You are alone, child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning. I will command a great and terrible army, and we will sail to 1 billion worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength. I am the end, and I have come for you, Finn. Every line is doing specific work. Fall, a single word as a command. delivered to Finn and Jake. Not attack or destroy or fight me, fall. The specific command to surrender to gravity, to stop standing, to let the weight of everything push you down. It works. They fall. The word has the power of a fundamental physical principle behind it. You are alone, child. The Lich knows Finn's specific vulnerability. In the context of escape from the Citadel, Finn has just met his father and discovered Martin is not the person he imagined. He is experiencing a specific kind of isolation, the isolation of having the primary missing relationship in your life fail to be what you hoped. The Lich does not know about Martin specifically, but he knows that Finn is alone in the way all mortals are alone, facing something incomprehensible without adequate tools. Child is not contempt exactly, it is accurate classification. Finn is young, the Lich is incomprehensibly old. These ancients are just the beginning. The Citadel's prisoners, now freed, are the beginning of the army. The ancients are cosmic criminals who have committed crimes severe enough to warrant imprisonment in a cosmic prison. The Lich is turning them into advanced forces, and he is telling Finn that this army is just the start. We will sail to 1 billion worlds, the full scope of the mission. Not not Earth, 1 billion worlds, all of them, every planet with any form of life on it, across the entire universe. The specific number is not literal. It is the Lich's way of expressing that the scope of his mission exceeds any particular location. He does not care about he cares about all life everywhere. Is simply where he currently is. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength. I am the end. The most specific line. He is acknowledging Finn's heroism. You are strong, while explaining why heroism is insufficient. He is not claiming to be more powerful than heroism. He is claiming to be categorically different from the things heroism can address. Heroism can overcome obstacles. It cannot overcome inevitability. The Lich, as a principle rather than a capacity, is not an obstacle. He is what happens. And I have come for you, Finn. The specific targeting, the Lich, who is trying to extinguish all life in the universe, has specifically come for Finn. Not because Finn is the most important life form, because Finn is the heroism principle's current instantiation, and the heroism principle is the thing most directly opposed to the extinction principle. The ceaseless wheel and the heroism principle are cosmic counterparts. The Lich comes for Finn the way water comes for a fire, not from personal malice, but from fundamental opposition. Gold Stars, Season 6. Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing, and before there was nothing, there were monsters. Here's your gold star. This speech is structurally different from the Escape from the Citadel monologue. That speech was addressed to Finn, a worthy opponent. This speech is addressed to the King of and Toronto, petty opportunists who have made the mistake of threatening a being they cannot comprehend. The speech is contemptuous, but also educational. The Lich is explaining, briefly, the full cosmological context that makes the King of Oo's schemes meaningless. Here is where you stand in the order of things. Here is what was here before you and will be here after you. Here is your gold star. The gold star is the show's darkest joke. The King of Oo was Sweet Pea's teacher. Sweet Pea was being educated by them. The Lich, taking over briefly, offers the counter-education, the truth about existence. The gold star for understanding this truth is not recognition or praise. It is the black smoke the Lich breathes at them. Here is your reward for learning what is true about the universe. Whispers, Season 9. The Ceaseless Wheel, the Last Scholar of Golb. 2 names, offered without elaboration. The Lich does not explain the names. He offers them as facts, as identifiers, as the labels that correctly describe what he is. He is confident enough in their meaning that he does not feel the need to explain them. The Ceaseless Wheel is particularly evocative, a wheel that never stops, a process that continues, regardless of any individual attempt to halt it. The Lich has been defeated multiple times. He always comes back. He is the wheel returning to its starting point. He is entropy continuing to increase, regardless of any local reversal. Expansion. D. Sweet Pea as the Lich's transformation and what it means. Sweet Pea is the most specific and most hopeful element of the Lich's story, and he deserves extended treatment because he is the show's direct answer to the question of whether the extinction principle can be changed by context. The mechanism of Sweet Pea's creation. Guardian blood covers the Lich's form in Escape from the Citadel. The Guardian's blood is described as being full of good nooch, a healing material that keeps the Citadel's prisoners alive and in stasis. It is the healing material of a prison system designed to contain cosmic criminals without destroying them. When it covers the Lich, it begins rebuilding him from the outside in, growing flesh, muscle, tissue. It transforms the extinction principle's physical form into something designed for living. The specific irony: the material that transforms the Lich was created by entities who contain cosmic criminals. The Lich is himself a cosmic criminal. The containment mechanism, applied to his body directly rather than encasing him, converts him. He is not imprisoned in amber. He is converted into something that can be loved. Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig find the baby Lich on their doorstep. The Lich Wiki. The Lich has now been turned into a large humanoid baby. The two leave him on the doorstep of Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig's house. They find him. They take him in. They name him Sweet Pig Trunks, Sweet P for short. They give the extinction principle a family. Tree Trunks, who is a small, elderly apple elephant who makes pies and loves her husband, becomes the adoptive mother of the primordial monster that predates the universe, and she is entirely adequate to the task. Not because she has any power to match the Lich's, she has no such power, but because she has the specific thing that the Lich's form, converted by guardian blood into something that can receive love, needs. Someone willing to show up, to comfort nightmares, to hold his enormous hands while he cries. The nightmare scenes. Gold Stars opens with Sweet Pea having a nightmare about the Lich's realm, the fire, the screaming spirits, the monsters. He wakes up terrified, and Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig come through the door. They stand on his enormous hands, and he lifts them to his face, and they comfort him. The extinction principle, in its new form, has nightmares about what it used to be, and the parents who were given to it show up for the nightmare. This is not played for comedy. It is played with complete sincerity. Tree Trunks is sincere. Mr. Pig is sincere. Sweet Pea's fear is sincere. The family is real, even though what produced it is one of the most absurd outcomes in the show's entire run. The choice in whispers. The Lich hand whispers to Sweet Pea, trying to reclaim the body. Sweet Pea, who is gentle and loving, who has been raised by two caring parents in a world that has been kind to him, makes his choice. He stabs the hand. He does not become the Lich. He destroys the instrument through which the Lich is attempting to reassert itself. This is the specific answer to whether the extinction principle can be changed by context. The answer is, it can be contained by context. The principle does not disappear. Sweet Pea has the Lich's power dormant inside him. In Gold Stars, the Lich surfaces briefly through Sweet Pea to terrify the king of Ooh and Toronto. The extinction principle is still there, but Sweet Pea has been given enough of a foundation, enough love, enough stability, enough identity that is not the Lich to choose against using it. The choice is not heroic in the conventional sense. Sweet Pea does not defeat the Lich hand through strength or strategy. He stabs it with a stick because he does not want to be what it is. The refusal is the heroism. The no is the victory. Sweet Pea becoming a mountain. In the flash forward of Adventure Time's finale, the enormous Sweet Pea has become a mountain in the distant future. The extinction principle that was given a body for living has grown and grown. Sweet Pea was always enormous, and over the centuries has become part of the literal landscape. Not metaphorically. Actually, he is terrain. This is the show's most specific and beautiful image for what happens when the extinction principle is given context that allows it to choose otherwise. It becomes something stable and permanent and navigable. Something that holds the world up, rather than ending it. The mountain of Sweet Pea is what the Lich might have been if it had ever been given a context that made love available. Instead, it was given the void before the universe and Golb's indifference. In one world, the Lich is a Tetris block in the orbit of a god that doesn't notice it. In another world, the Lich is a mountain in a living world. The difference is Tree Trunks. Expansion E, what Ron Perlman brings, and why the voice is part of the character. This is something Adventure Time analyses rarely address, but the Lich's voice, specifically Ron Perlman's performance, is inseparable from what the character is, and it deserves attention. Ron Perlman is known for playing characters with an unusual combination of physical intimidation and intellectual depth. His work in Hellboy, Sons of Anarchy, the Fallout video game series, and dozens of other projects demonstrates a specific quality, a voice that sounds ancient and considered and slightly tired of everything in a way that is not weakness, but rather an accumulation of experience that has processed more than most beings have access to. This is precisely what the Lich requires. The Lich is not a screaming, raging villain. He is patient. He is calm. He has been doing this for 65 million years. He has the specific quality of a being for whom nothing is surprising anymore, not because he is jaded, but because he has simply encountered enough to have a complete catalogue. Ron Perlman's voice conveys this catalogue. When Perlman delivers, "I am the end," the line works not because it sounds threatening, but because it sounds true. It sounds like a statement of fact, rather than a declaration. The Lich is telling Finn what he is. He is not performing menace. He is providing information. Perlman delivers it this way: flat, even, final. And the flatness is more frightening than any theatrical delivery would be. The gold star delivery. When Perlman delivers, "Here's your gold star," through Sweet Pea's body to the King of Ooo and Toronto, the specific quality is of contempt so complete it has become almost gentle. He is not angry. He has nothing to be angry about. He is explaining, briefly, the cosmological context that makes the King of Oo's existence laughably small, and then he offers the reward for understanding this explanation. The delivery is almost professorial, a teacher explaining something very simple to students who have demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding. The contrast between the Lich's voice and Sweet Pea's voice is one of the episode's most specific achievements. Sweet Pea is voiced by a child actor, Ethan Maher, with the specific quality of a genuinely large, gentle, slightly awkward young person. When the Lich surfaces through Sweet Pea, Perlman's voice replaces Maher's without transition. The shift is jarring in exactly the right way. You know immediately, from the voice alone, what you are now dealing with. Expansion, the Lich's role in the show's broader philosophy. Adventure Time's show's deepest philosophical statement, assembled across all 10 seasons, and the Distant Lands specials and Fiona and Cake, is about the relationship between principles and the beings who instantiate them. The show proposes, through its cosmology, that fundamental principles, heroism, extinction, chaos, order, exist independently of any specific being, but must be expressed through specific beings to affect the world. The catalyst comets deliver agents of change. The agents embody the principle. The principle becomes real through the embodiment. The Lich is the extinction principle's embodiment. Without the Lich, extinction is simply a physical process. Things die, systems run down, entropy increases. The Lich makes extinction into something active, something with intent, something that can plan and strategize and wait. He is the principle given agency. This means the Lich cannot simply be defeated by destroying him. The principle persists. When his green comet struck Earth 65 million years ago, the essence went dormant in the Earth's crust. When the Lich's physical form is destroyed, he returns. He is the ceaseless wheel because the extinction principle is ceaseless. As long as there is life, there is the potential for extinction. The Lich is that potential made active. Finn is the heroism principle's embodiment. Without Finn, heroism is simply a tendency in certain beings, a disposition toward protection, toward sacrifice, toward the defense of others. Finn makes heroism into something active, something that throws itself at the world with complete openness, something that refuses to give up even when the arm is gone and the father has left, and the bottom of the crystallized fluid seems like a reasonable place to stay. Their conflict is the universe's heroism principle and extinction principle, fighting each other through bodies. Neither can permanently defeat the other, because neither principle can be permanently eliminated. The Lich is always there. The heroism principle is always there. The comet cycle brings both into active expression every 1,000 years or so. They are cosmic counterparts, doing what cosmic counterparts do. The show's resolution of this conflict is not the defeat of the extinction principle. It is the transformation of the extinction principle's current physical form into something that makes the wrong choice harder. Sweet Pea is not the Lich defeated. Sweet Pea is the Lich given a different container, and the container changes what the principle can express. The principle is still there. The context around it changes what it does. This is the show's answer to evil. Not destruction, but transformation. Not elimination, but providing a different container. The heroism principle doesn't kill the extinction principle. It gives it a body suited for living, and then Tree Trunk shows up and turns it into Sweet Pea. The gold star in the end, is not Golb's recognition. It is Tree Trunk standing on Sweet Pea's enormous hands, while he cries from a nightmare, comforting something that predates the universe, and telling it that it was just a dream, just a dream. Thank you for spending all this time with the Lich tonight.
He is the show's finest villain, precisely because he is not simply evil, but devout, not simply powerful, but patient, not simply threatening, but real, a principle that has been true longer than anything else in the show's world, expressed through a being that wanted nothing more than to be seen by the thing it served. He was not seen. He became a Tetris block and a mountain. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back. Good night. Expansion G. Every Lich appearance in order, and what each one reveals. Let me trace every significant Lich appearance across the show's run, because assembled in sequence they reveal a coherent strategic arc that casual viewing tends to miss. Season 1. His hero. Finn and Jake meet Billy, who tells them about his legendary defeat of the Lich, slamming him into a tree and sealing him in amber. The Lich appears only in the flashback. He is enormous, wreathed in green flame, clearly powerful beyond ordinary opposition. The show establishes his baseline. This is a being who required the greatest hero who ever lived to defeat. And even the defeat was only containment. The specific detail that Billy used a crack in the Lich's armor. Billy didn't destroy the Lich. He found a specific vulnerability, the crack, and used it to contain rather than eliminate. This is important. The Lich was not defeated by superior force. He was contained by an opportunistic strike. The containment was always temporary. Season 2, Mortal Folly and Mortal Recoil. The Lich freed from amber, pursuing restoration, possessing PB. This is the show's first substantial Lich arc, and it demonstrates his basic approach. Restore, acquire, expand. He is not rampaging. He is working through steps. The possession of PB is strategic in two ways. It gives him access to the Candy Kingdom's resources and knowledge base, and it tests what his power can do when operating through a vessel with established trust and authority. He is learning what his power can accomplish in the world as it currently exists. What has changed in the centuries he was imprisoned. Season 4, The Lich, the Billy disguise gambit. This is the Lich at his most strategically sophisticated. He has killed Billy, which required sufficient power and access to accomplish without detection. He has taken Billy's form convincingly enough to deceive Finn and Jake, who are aware of Billy's existence, and would be comparing the impersonation against memory. He navigates the Enchiridion gem quest through manipulation, presenting each step as Billy's heroic mission. He delivers a performance. The Lich plays a character across the full episode. The specific cruelty of this approach. The Lich weaponizes Finn's love for Billy. Finn's hero, the person who represents what heroism can accomplish, is turned into a tool for the Extinction Principle's advancement. The heroism principle, trying to honor its greatest predecessor, is unknowingly serving the Extinction Principle it was created to oppose. Season 5, Finn the Human / Jake the Dog. The Wish, the Farm World timeline. The Lich achieves his goal in one timeline and watches it be undone by Jake's counter-wish. He is then transported to the Citadel as a prisoner. This is the closest he comes to winning in the main series, and the mechanism that prevents it is Jake, not Finn, not heroism, but pragmatism. Jake's counter-wish redirects the consequences without confronting the Lich directly. The Lich, transported to the Citadel, is contained again, but he has demonstrated that a wish of sufficient scope can achieve his goal. He now knows the mechanism exists. He needs to find another way to access it. Season 5, Wake Up and Escape from the Citadel, the Prismo assassination and the Citadel destruction. Having arrived at the Citadel as a prisoner, the Lich works on two problems simultaneously: restoring his power through the Guardian blood, ironically, the thing that eventually turns him into Sweet Pea, and establishing access back to Prismo's time room. The Prismo assassination is the show's clearest demonstration of the Lich's forward planning. He kills Prismo, not to achieve anything in the immediate term, but to prevent future use against him. He is playing a long game, and the assassination is a defensive move in that game, eliminating a potential threat before the threat materializes. The escape from the Citadel monologue, and then the Guardian blood transformation. These happen in the same episode. The Lich delivers his most complete statement of purpose to Finn, and then, in the same episode, is transformed into Sweet Pea by Finn's action with Guardian blood. His most explicit declaration of his nature leads immediately to his most complete transformation. The show structures this deliberately, the full articulation of what the Lich is, followed immediately by the thing that changes what the Lich can be. Season 6, Gold Stars. Sweet Pea's first day of school. The Lich surfaces briefly, the Gold Star speech. Then Sweet Pea reasserts, and it's over. This is a controlled demonstration that the Lich is still present inside Sweet Pea, but cannot maintain control when Sweet Pea's own identity is stable. Season 7 through 8. The Lich is largely absent from the main action as Sweet Pea. He is present in the background. Sweet Pea's nightmares, Finn and Jake's awareness that he is contained inside the child they are monitoring. The absence is itself significant. The Lich is contained, and the show demonstrates this by his absence from active threat status. Season 9. Whispers. The severed hand. The whispers. The names. The Lich Hand's attempt to reclaim Sweet Pea's refusal. The end of the Lich's primary threat in the main timeline. The hand calls itself the Ceaseless Wheel and the last scholar of Golb in Whispers. These are the most direct statements of identity the Lich makes in the entire show. He offers these names not as threats, but as accurate labels. He is telling Sweet Pea what he is, what is inside him, what the dormant power represents, in the hope that Sweet Pea will accept the identity and act on it. Sweet Pea stabs him instead. Series finale, Come Along With Me. Sweet Pea appears briefly in the finale's battle against Golb. The Lich inside Sweet Pea briefly emerges, triggered by the Golb summoning, by the proximity of chaos. But Sweet Pea reasserts. The encounter with Golb, the entity the Lich devoted his existence to, has no dramatic impact on Sweet Pea. The devotion was the Lich's, not Sweet Pea's. Sweet Pea has no relationship to Golb, except as the body of the being who served it. The flash forward. Sweet Pea is a mountain in the distant future. The extinction principle that was contained has become geology. It is enormous, always growing, because Sweet Pea was always enormous. Over the centuries, it has grown to mountainous scale. It is now part of the world's physical structure. The Fiona and Cake specials, the extinct world, the crisis of faith, the Tetris block, the full revelation of what the Lich was trying to do, delivered through the alternate timeline version that succeeded and found nothing. Expansion H. The Lich's relationship with Golb in full detail. The Golb mythology is Adventure Time's deepest cosmological layer, and the Lich's relationship to it deserves extended treatment because it is central to understanding what he was really trying to do. Golb is described in the Adventure Time wiki as a malevolent entity who is the embodiment of chaos, entropy, and disorder. He inhabits an unknown dimension, and, in Come Along With Me, it is hinted that the Lich was created by Golb's breath. If this is accurate, and the show presents it as a hint rather than confirmed fact, then the Lich is not simply a devotee of Golb. He is a product of Golb. He was breathed into existence by the entity he serves. His devotion is not simply theological, but ontological. He is what he is, because Golb breathed him into being. This would mean the Lich's devotion to Golb is the devotion of something to its creator, not simply, I believe in this principle and serve it, but this is the source of my existence, and I am trying to return to it. The extinction mission would then be less a religious duty and more a homecoming. The Lich trying to accomplish enough in Golb's name to be welcomed back into the presence of the being that made him. The specific cruelty of the finale revelation in Casper and Nova. Golb does not acknowledge this. Whether Golb created the Lich or not, Golb does not respond to the Lich's completed mission with any form of recognition. Golb simply absorbs the Lich into its orbital collection of geometric shapes. The homecoming the Lich was working toward is not a homecoming, it is an absorption. He becomes part of Golb's background clutter. The Golb wiki notes, in Come Along With Me, it is hinted that the Lich was created by Golb's breath. The hinting, rather than confirming, is the show's usual mode for its deepest cosmological statements. It presents the information and trusts the viewer to sit with it. The Lich might be Golb's creation. If so, the devotion is the devotion of a created being toward its creator, and the creator is indifferent. This is perhaps the most bleak element of the Lich's story. If he was created by Golb, then his entire existence has been an attempt to earn recognition from the being that breathed him into existence. The creator made the Lich, pointed him toward extinction, and then went back to doing whatever Golb does. And the Lich has spent geological epochs
trying to do the work well enough to be acknowledged. The Lich Scholars, wiki entry. He exhibited a religious devotion to Golby, often prostrating and chanting in prayer. Prostrating, chanting. These are the behaviors of religious devotion, the physical expression of submission and reverence. The Lich, who told Finn, "I am beyond strength," who sat on piles of bones after achieving universal extinction and refused to kill new arrivals because he had lost the will to do anything, prostrates himself before Golb and chants. The hardest image in the Lich's entire arc, the last scholar of Golb, the primordial monster that predates existence, the ceaseless wheel, the being who commanded armies across 1 billion worlds and extinguished every light. This being prostrates itself before its god and begs for acknowledgement, and is turned into a floating geometric shape.
The TV Tropes character page on the Lich says it with devastating economy. Well done, Sun Guy. Fiona and Cake's finale reveals that he only wants to kill everything because he thinks it will impress Golb. Golby didn't seem appreciative. Well done, Sun Guy is a trope about a character whose primary motivation is earning the approval of a parental figure who consistently withholds it. The Lich's relationship to Golb, per the Fiona and Cake reveal, fits this pattern exactly. He is performing an enormous, centuries-long act of devotion in the hope that the being he is devoted to will eventually recognize and acknowledge the performance. Golb never does. The performance is endless because the acknowledgement never arrives. The Lich is not, at the deepest level, a villain. He is a devoted servant of a principle that has no capacity for relationship. He is someone who built his entire existence around a connection that the other party cannot participate in. His tragedy is not that his goal is wrong. Entropy and extinction are real cosmic principles. Golb is a real entity, but that the goal cannot provide what he is really seeking, which is to be seen by something that sees him back. Expansion. 1. What the Lich's failure tells us about Golb and chaos. The Lich's mission fails in the most complete possible way. He succeeds, and it means nothing. This tells us something specific about Golb and the principle of chaos that deserves careful attention. Golby, as the embodiment of chaos, cannot reward order, and the Lich's mission, however devoted to chaos it was in intent, was itself a deeply ordered project. The Lich planned, he waited, he strategized, he built armies and navigated cosmic mechanisms and maintained a consistent goal across geological time. These are the behaviors of someone who is fundamentally operating through order, not through chaos. A truly chaotic agent would not maintain a consistent goal across 65 million years. Chaos does not maintain. It dissolves, it changes, it becomes something else. The Lich, in his devotion to Golb, has been doing something that Golb cannot do, sustaining. The Lich is patient and consistent and strategic, all properties of order. He was trying to honor chaos through order, and chaos cannot be honored through order. This is the structural impossibility at the heart of the Lich's project. He cannot serve Golb the way Golb would recognize being served. Golb is not a being who can recognize service of any kind. Golb is chaos, indifferent, formless, unreasonable, unreachable. The Lich tried to reach the unreachable. He tried to establish relationship with that which has no capacity for relationship. The specific form of Golb's response, turning the Lich into a Tetris block, is itself chaotic. It is arbitrary. It does not follow from anything the Lich did. It is not reward or punishment. It is the chaos principle doing what chaos does, acting without reference to expectation, without relationship to the Lich's specific actions, without any acknowledgement that the Lich was there or that he did anything. Golb turned the Lich into a Tetris block, the way you might idly rearrange objects on a desk while thinking about something else. The Lich deserved better from his god. He did not get better. He got a Tetris block. Adventure Time has a specific thing to say about nihilistic devotion, and the Lich's arc is that statement at its fullest expression. If you organize your existence around a principle that is fundamentally indifferent, the principle will not reward you. It will simply continue being what it is. Entropy does not thank its servants. Chaos does not acknowledge its scholars. The extinction principle, served faithfully for 65 million years by the last person willing to serve it, offers nothing in return, not even a gold star. Expansion J, the complete contrast between the Lich's two outcomes. Let me put the two outcomes side by side explicitly, because the contrast between them is the show's clearest visual argument about what makes a life meaningful. Outcome 1, the extinct world Lich. He succeeded. He completed the mission. He He killed all life in the universe through Prismo's wish, the most efficient possible method, the one that required the least direct action. He sat on a pile of bones. BMO was there, the only surviving entity, calling him Jerry, and offering one-sided friendship. He had no purpose. He had achieved his purpose, and found that achieving it gave him nothing. He went to GOLB, and was absorbed into a collection of geometric shapes. Outcome 2, the main timeline Lich/Sweet Pea. He was transformed by Guardian Blood into an enormous child. He was adopted by Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig. He went to school. He had nightmares and was comforted by his parents. He was bullied by Candy Kids and laughed it off. He was tempted by the severed hand and refused. He became, over the centuries, a mountain in the landscape of the distant future, an enormous, permanent, stable presence in a world that continued to live and adventure and change. The first outcome, unlimited power, mission completed, God ignored him, alone forever, in a dead universe. The second outcome, contained power, mission refused, parents loved him, mountain in a living world. The show is clear about which one is better, not morally better. The main timeline Lich is better, because Sweet Pea is better, because the extinction principle given a different context produced something that can be loved and that grows rather than consuming, and that becomes part of the world's architecture rather than ending it. The first outcome is the extinction principle completing its function. The second is the extinction principle becoming something it was never supposed to be. Tree Trunks versus GOLB. In the hierarchy of what matters for the Lich's arc, the small apple elephant pie maker outperforms the primordial chaos entity. Golb made the Lich and ignored him. Tree Trunks didn't make Sweet Pea and showed up for every nightmare. The parent who showed up wins. The god who is indifferent loses. The show's cosmology is, at the level of the Lich's arc, a statement about the superiority of present love over absent divinity. This is the warmth inside the show's darkest mythology. The extinction principle's most hopeful ending is not cosmic triumph or cosmic recognition. It is an apple elephant holding the enormous hands of a gentle giant and saying, "It was just a dream." That is what the Lich's story, followed to its full conclusion, shows us is most valuable. Just a dream, Sweet Pea. Thank you for spending all of this time tonight with the show's finest villain and the full account of what he wanted. Every piece of this is confirmed canonical lore. The extinct world revealed in Fiona and Cake, the Golby devotion confirmed in Casper and Nova, the Gold Stars monologue from the transcript, the escape from the Citadel speech from the transcript, the Scholars of Golb wiki, the Whispers names. The show built this picture carefully across 10 seasons and multiple specials. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back. Good night. Expansion K, the Lich's power set, and how the show uses it. The Lich is the most powerful being in Adventure Time's main series, not through raw destructive capacity, but through the specific nature of what his power is and how it expresses itself. Understanding his power set is understanding what the extinction principle looks like when given agency, mind control. The Lich can control the minds of living beings through direct contact or through his grey plague. This power is the most immediately alarming because it converts allies into enemies and turns the most valuable defensive resource, other people, into a threat. When the Lich released the Citadel's prisoners through his grey plague, he converted a prison population into an army without any of them agreeing to serve him. They serve him because they have no alternative once the plague has them. The mind control is not persuasion. It is not argument. It is the imposition of the extinction principle onto minds that had their own principles. It is entropy applied to identity. The specific, ordered structure of an individual person's consciousness dissolves under the Lich's influence and becomes simply a tool. This is the extinction principle operating at the level of selfhood rather than biology. The death breath. The Lich can exhale black smoke that damages or destroys living tissue and potentially kills outright. The specific quality. It is dark and silent, not explosive or dramatic. The death the Lich brings is not explosive or theatrical. It is the slow, quiet end of biological function. The death breath does what death does.
stops things without any of the drama that conventional fantasy villainy usually brings to killing. The Well of Power. The Lich has access to the mutagenic waste from the mushroom bomb's aftermath, the same material that produced his physical form. When he can access this material, he can restore his strength and intensify his power. This is the specific connection between the Lich and the war that produced him. He draws power from the same nuclear legacy that woke him up. The worst thing humanity did continues to empower the thing it accidentally released, the Grey Plague. The Lich's ability to infect the Citadel's prisoners with grey-tinged corruption that brings them under his control. This operates differently from his direct mind control. It is a spreading infection rather than an individual possession. The plague converts those it touches, and those it converts spread it further. It is the extinction principle operating through biological mechanism. Life forms become vectors for the dissolution of other life forms' autonomy. The Fall command. One of the most specific and frightening demonstrations of the Lich's power is the single word fall in Escape from the Citadel. He says the word, and Finn and Jake fall, not because they are hit or because a physical force pushes them, but because the word carries the weight of a fundamental physical principle. The Lich can speak reality into compliance with his will at a basic level. The command is not magic exactly, it is the extinction principle, asserting the primacy of entropy. Everything tends to fall. The Lich's word activates this tendency beyond any individual resistance. This is why I am beyond strength is accurate. The Lich is not fighting Finn, he is invoking the physics of existence. Strength pushes against a force. You cannot push against the tendency of organized systems to become disordered. You can resist it temporarily, but the tendency is always there. The immunity to harm. The Lich cannot be permanently killed or destroyed through conventional means. He is the ceaseless wheel. The principle always returns. When his body is destroyed, his essence remains. He can possess new hosts, manifest in new forms, whisper from severed hands across dimensional boundaries. The specific impermanence of any individual defeat reflects the impermanence of any local victory over entropy. You can reduce entropy locally and temporarily, but the overall tendency continues. The Citadel Guardian Blood's reversal of his power is the show's clearest demonstration of what can actually counter the extinction principle. The healing material of entities designed to preserve life, applied to his form, converts him, not defeats him, converts him. The Guardian Blood is not a weapon against the Lich, it is a transformer. It changes what he can be by changing the body he inhabits. Expansion. L. The Lich's relationship with Finn and why it matters. The Lich and Finn are cosmic counterparts, the extinction principle and the heroism principle in their current physical forms, and their specific relationship across the show's run is more complex than a simple antagonist-protagonist dynamic. The Lich's monologue in Escape from the Citadel addresses Finn specifically. And I have come for you, Finn. Not, I have come for all life, though that is the ultimate goal. Specifically Finn. The Lich has targeted the heroism principle's current instantiation for specific attention. Why? The Whispers episode reveals, through the Severed Hands comments, that the Lich is aware of the multiverse, and aware that Finn has defeated him in many worlds. The Lich has mentioned how Finn has bested him in many worlds. The Lich Hand knows about the farm world Lich being defeated, even though the hand wasn't present for it. The Lich has awareness across timelines and dimensions, and across those timelines and dimensions, it is consistently Finn, or the heroism principle in its current form, that stops him. The specific opposition between the blue comet and the green comet, between the heroism principle and the extinction principle, is built into the structure of what both of them are. They are cosmic counterparts of the same catalyst comet mechanism. The Lich coming for Finn is the extinction principle targeting the heroism principle, not because Finn specifically is responsible for the Lich's defeats, but because the heroism principle is structurally what opposes the extinction principle. The Lich is not wrong to target Finn. If the heroism principle is what repeatedly stops the extinction principle across dimensions, then eliminating the heroism principle's current instantiation is a strategically sound move. The Lich is doing what he should do, given his understanding of his own situation. His opponent is Finn. He comes for Finn. What neither of them knows, or rather, what Finn doesn't fully know
and the Lich has perhaps more awareness of, is that the heroism principle cannot be permanently eliminated any more than the extinction principle can. Killing Finn would produce a Shermie and Beth sooner. The ceaseless wheel and the heroism principle are both endless in the same way. They are the same coin. The specific moment of their cosmic counterpart relationship being most fully expressed. In Escape from the Citadel, the Lich is giving his full monologue, and Finn is reaching for guardian blood with his palm. The extinction principle makes its complete declaration of what it is. The heroism principle slaps it with healing material. The declaration becomes an opportunity. The extinction principle's most complete self-expression becomes the instrument of its transformation. This is how the heroism principle stops the extinction principle in the show's most complete encounter between them, not by overpowering the declaration, but by using the moment of the declaration as a moment of action. While the Lich is saying, "I am the end," Finn is moving. The speech and the action happen simultaneously. The heroism principle does not wait for the extinction principle to finish talking. Expansion M. What Adventure Time is really saying about evil. The Lich is the show's primary statement about what evil is, and it is a more sophisticated statement than most animated shows produce. Most animated villains want something recognizable: power, revenge, specific resources, the defeat of specific enemies. These motivations make villains legible within a normal moral framework. We can understand wanting power, or revenge, or specific resources, even if we don't endorse the methods. We can engage with the villain as someone who wants something that we can imagine wanting. The Lich does not want any of these things. He wants extinction, not of his enemies specifically, not in revenge for something done to him, not to acquire power. He wants extinction universally, because it is Golb's will, as he understands it. This is not legible within a normal moral framework. You cannot understand wanting this in the way you might understand wanting power. It is completely outside the framework of desire that living beings operate within. This is why the Lich is terrifying in a qualitatively different way from most villains. He is not trying to win at the game everyone else is playing. He is trying to end the game. And you cannot negotiate with someone who is trying to end the game, cannot appeal to shared interests, cannot offer them something they want more than their goal, because their goal is incompatible with the continued existence of anything that could offer them anything. And yet, the Casper and Nova revelation recontextualizes this. The Lich was not simply committed to extinction as an abstract principle. He was trying to earn recognition from Golb. He was devout in the specific way of someone who needs their devotion acknowledged. And this need, the need to be seen by the thing you love, is profoundly legible. It is not villainous. It is human. It is one of the most fundamental human needs, to matter, to something larger than yourself. The Lich's tragedy is that he expressed this need through the most destructive possible means, in service of a being incapable of providing what he actually needed. He needed relationship. He served a principle. The principle cannot provide relationship. The destruction he caused in service of this need was immense and real and irreversible in the extinct world, and it gave him nothing. This is Adventure Time's deepest statement about evil. Evil is not a principle. It is a fundamental need expressed through destructive means in a context that cannot provide what the need actually requires. The Lich needed to be seen. He served a principle that cannot see. He destroyed everything in its name, and he was given a Tetris block, the most radical interpretation of the Lich's arc. He was not evil exactly. He was devout. He was committed. He was extraordinarily patient and skilled. And he was trying to get something from an entity that cannot give it. His tragedy is not that he was wrong about Golb's existence. Golb is real. His tragedy is that what he wanted from Golb, recognition, acknowledgement, relationship, is not something Golb can provide, because Golb is chaos, and chaos cannot provide these things. This does not excuse the extinctions. They were real. The extinct world is a real world where everything is dead. The need the Lich had does not justify what he did in service of it, but understanding the need behind the destruction changes how the destruction registers, from incomprehensible evil to tragic misdirection. He was going the wrong direction for something real. Tree Trunks could have given it to him. She did give it to Sweet Pea. She showed up for the nightmares. She held his enormous hands. She said, "It was just a dream." This is what the Lich was looking for, expressed at the scale of an apple elephant, and a gentle giant, rather than at the scale of a cosmic principle and a god. The universe's extinction principle, in its main timeline outcome, found what it needed in the smallest possible form, a mother who shows up. That is what Adventure Time was saying about the Lich all along. Good night. Expansion N. The Lich's presence in the show's background and the snail. One of the show's most underappreciated running details is how the Lich's presence is woven into the fabric of Adventure Time from its very first episode, hidden in plain sight for viewers who know where to look. The waving snail. A small snail appears in every episode of Adventure Time, waving at the audience from somewhere in the background. In some episodes it is easy to spot, in others it is deeply hidden. It is both an Easter egg for observant viewers and, more significantly, a running element of the Lich's mythology. The Lich snail. Starting in Season 1, the waving snail is occasionally shown with black eyes instead of the normal pupil-less appearance. This is the Lich's possession. The Lich, imprisoned in amber in the Candy Kingdom, has been extending his influence through this small snail, and the snail's periodic possession by the Lich is the mechanism by which the Lich eventually cracks his amber prison and frees himself. The first season finale, Mortal Folly, begins with the crack appearing in the Lich's amber. The snail, possessed, caused the crack. The Lich planned this across the entire first season. Every waving snail in Season 1's background is potentially the Lich, contained but active, working on his prison through the smallest possible vector. This retroactive detail is one of Adventure Time's finest hidden pieces of storytelling. The waving snail is innocent and cheerful, an audience-greeting Easter egg, and it is also the Lich's hand extended from imprisonment. The show placed the villain's escape mechanism in the most innocuous possible location, a waving snail, and made it the show's signature background gag. Every episode of the first season, the Lich was waving at you. You just didn't know it was him. The Enchiridion control. Earlier in the show, when the Lich is still imprisoned in amber, he exerts influence through the Lich snail to manipulate the Enchiridion. In The Lich, Season 4 finale, the Lich-possessed Billy uses the Enchiridion to open a portal to Prismo's time room. But the groundwork for the Enchiridion's use was laid over multiple seasons, the show building toward the moment of use through a chain of smaller preparations. The Lich's capacity to influence events while imprisoned is a demonstration of his power's specific nature. He does not need to be physically free to act. His influence extends through possessed vessels. He works through waving snails, and through Billy's corpse, and through the severed hand that whispers to Sweet Pea. The Lich is not a being who requires freedom to be dangerous. He is dangerous wherever there are living things he can reach. Expansion. O. The show's final sequence of Lich moments and what they mean together. Let me put the Lich's final sequence of moments together, because read in order, they tell a complete story about what the show concluded about its central villain. The series finale, Come Along With Me. Golb is summoned by Betty's attempt to use the Golb magic to save Simon. The Lich inside Sweet Pea briefly emerges, triggered by the proximity of Golb, the entity his devotion is organized around, and then Sweet Pea reasserts. The encounter with Golb does not free the Lich. It triggers a brief emergence that Sweet Pea then suppresses. Even with Golb physically present, even with the object of his devotion directly accessible, the Lich cannot overcome the context Sweet Pea provides. This is the show's final statement about the Golby devotion. Even face to face with the god, the extinction principle in its current form cannot express itself. The body it inhabits has learned to love, and love is sufficient to contain the devotion. Obsidian, 2020. The flash forward to adult Finn shows Sweet Pea has grown to enormous scale. He is clearly going to become a mountain. The extinction principle is thriving in its new form, not declining, not weakening, but growing. It is becoming part of the world's permanent physical structure. Together Again, 2021. Sweet Pea's mountain is present in the background of the far future. The mountain is real. It is enormous. The extinction principle has become geography. Fiona and Cake, Jerry, 2023. The alternate timeline. Lich has succeeded, sits on a pile of bones, and is called Jerry by BMO. He is depressed. He has lost the will to even kill new arrivals. The success was empty. Fiona and Cake, Casper and Nova, 2023. The extinct world Lich reaches GOLB, prostrates himself, demands recognition, is turned into a Tetris block. The full arc ends here.
The main timeline Lich is a mountain. The extinct world Lich is a Tetris block. Golb did not acknowledge either outcome. Tree trunks made a difference that Golb could not. The Lich wanted to matter to Golb. Golb made him a Tetris block. The Lich's body, given to Sweet Pea, made tree trunks matter. This is the show's answer to what the Lich was really trying to do all along. The wrong thing, in the wrong direction, toward the wrong entity, for the right reason. He needed to matter to something. He chose Golb. He should have had tree trunks from the beginning. Everything else follows from there. Expansion. P. The complete account of the Lich's story in proper order. Let me give you the Lich's story in full chronological order, because it is one of the most complete villain narratives in animated television and deserves to be experienced in sequence. Before the universe, the Lich exists as one of the primordial monsters in the state that preceded nothing. He is among the beings that were there before the void. At some point, he becomes a scholar of Golb, devoted to the chaos principle, committed to the pursuit of extinction in Golb's name. Geological epoch, undefined. The Lich's essence is transferred to a green catalyst comet. The comet's mission is to kill all living beings in the universe. The comet hits Earth in the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. The dinosaurs and most other life forms die. The Lich's essence is embedded in the Earth's geology, 65 million years of dormancy. He waits in the Earth's crust as mammals evolve, civilizations develop, and humanity builds enough technological capacity to produce a weapon that will wake him. Approximately 1,000 years before Adventure Time's present, the Great Mushroom War. The mushroom bomb detonates. The mutagenic material activates the Lich's essence. A person falls into the mutagenic waste. The Lich possesses and transforms this person into his physical form. The first millennium of physical activity, the Lich begins working toward his mission in the post-war world. He is defeated by Billy at some point and imprisoned in the Amber Tree in the Candy Kingdom. He begins slowly working on his prison through the Lich Snail. Season 1. The Lich Snail cracks the amber. The Lich is free. Seasons 2 through 3. The Lich pursues power restoration, possesses PB, is defeated by Finn through PB's amulet protection. Season 4. The Lich kills Billy, takes his body, manipulates Finn and Jake into gathering the Enchiridion gems, reaches Prismo's time room. Season 5 premiere. The Lich wishes for all life in the universe to cease to exist. The wish creates the farm world timeline. Jake's counter-wish redirects the consequences. The Lich is transported to the Citadel. He kills Prismo before being transported. Season 6 premiere. The Lich delivers his full monologue in the Citadel. He is transformed into Sweet Pea by Finn's application of Guardian Blood. Season 6, Gold Stars. Sweet Pea's first day of school. The Lich surfaces briefly. Gold Star speech. Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig are shown as loving parents. Season 9, Whispers. The severed hand from crossover whispers to Sweet Pea. The names revealed. Sweet Pea refuses and destroys the hand. Series finale. Sweet Pea near Golb briefly surfaces, is suppressed by Sweet Pea's identity. Flash forward. Sweet Pea is enormous. Obsidian. Sweet Pea is approaching mountain scale. Together again. The mountain exists in the far future. Fiona and Cake. Jerry. The extinct world Lich sits on bones. BMO calls him Jerry. He is depressed. Casper and Nova. The extinct world Lich reaches GOLB. Prostrates. Demands recognition. Becomes a Tetris block. End of the Lich's story. One outcome. A mountain in a living world. One outcome. A Tetris block in Golb's orbit. One had tree trunks. One had Golb. Tree Trunks wins. Thank you for spending all of this time with me tonight. This was the Lich's complete story, assembled from 10 seasons and multiple specials, all from confirmed canonical sources. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back. Good night. Expansion Q. Why the Lich is the scariest villain in animated television. I want to spend time on this because I think it deserves a direct argument, not just a claim. The Lich is the scariest villain in animated television, and the reasons are specific and worth articulating. Most animated villains are frightening because of their power. Megatron is frightening because he can destroy things. Skeletor is frightening because he commands armies. Horde Prime in She-Ra is frightening because his reach is cosmic and his control is total. The fear these villains produce is essentially the fear of being physically overwhelmed, of being up against something too powerful to stop. The Lich is frightening for different and deeper reasons. First, He is patient beyond comprehension, an enemy who gets angry, who makes desperate moves, who has a limited window of opportunity. This enemy can be waited out. An enemy who has been working on the same project for 65 million years and is entirely comfortable waiting another 10,000 years for the right moment cannot be waited out. The Lich does not have a deadline. He is the opposite of a deadline. He will be there when everything else is gone. Second, his goal is total. Most villains want to win, to control, to dominate, to acquire. These goals leave room for negotiation, for alliance, for the possibility that the villain might be satisfied with partial victory. The Lich does not want to win. He wants everything to end. There is nothing to negotiate. There is nothing that partially satisfies him. You cannot give him a kingdom and have him leave everyone else alone. His goal is the elimination of the everyone else. Third, he is right about the fundamental facts. The Lich is not wrong that entropy increases. He is not wrong that systems run down. He is not wrong that death is the destination of every living thing. He is not wrong that Golb exists, or that chaos is a real cosmic principle. His cosmology is accurate. He has just decided that the correct response to this accurate cosmology is to help it along as efficiently as possible. He is frightening partly because the universe he describes is real. Fourth, his method is logic. He does not rage. He does not hate individuals. He does not have personal vendettas. He has a mission, and he executes it with patience and intelligence. You cannot appeal to his better nature because his method has no worse nature to contrast with. He is simply doing what he is doing, methodically, without emotion, across geological time. This is more frightening than passion, because passion can be redirected. Logic, in the service of a goal, simply continues. Fifth, he is older than everything. The Lich remembers when there was nothing before the nothing. He has been here for 65 million years in active form and existed before the universe in some prior state. Everything you have ever known or will ever know is younger than him. Every civilization that has ever existed was preceded by him and will be followed by him. He is the context within which your existence happens. This is not frightening in the way that a monster is frightening. It is frightening in the way that confronting mortality is frightening, not because it threatens you right now, but because it is true. These 5 qualities combined produce a villain who is not simply powerful, but philosophically threatening. The Lich makes you feel the actual weight of the things he represents: time, death, entropy, the inevitable dissolution of every organized structure. He is frightening because he is real in a way that other animated villains are not. The things he embodies are genuinely present in the universe. He is just the form they take when they are given agency, and then he becomes a Tetris block and a mountain. The universe's most ancient and most patient and most correct about the fundamental facts villain becomes a Tetris block because Golb is indifferent, and a mountain because Tree Trunks is not. The show's final joke on the Lich. After all of that, after 65 million years, after the patience and the strategy and the devotion and the completed mission, he is no more consequential to Golby than any random floating geometric shape. He matters to Golby the way a pebble on a mountain matters to the mountain, and he matters to Tree Trunks the way a child matters to a parent. The show knows which of these is the better outcome. Expansion, the Lich and Ron Perlman, and the specific magic of the performance. Ron Perlman was cast to voice the Lich, and the casting is one of the most perfectly matched voice-character relationships in animation. Let me be specific about why. Perlman's voice has a quality that is extremely specific and extremely relevant to what the Lich needs. It sounds ancient, not old in the way that affects vocal clarity or breath support. Perlman's voice is full and resonant, but it sounds like it has processed a very large amount of experience and has emerged from that processing with a specific kind of weight. He speaks words as if each one has been considered. He does not rush. This matches what the Lich is, a being who has processed 65 million years of Earth's history and an undefined additional period before the universe. Nothing he says is said in haste. Nothing is said for effect. When Perlman delivers, "I am the end," the flatness of the delivery is the point. He is not performing menace. He is stating a fact. The flat, weighted delivery of a fact is more threatening than any performed menace because it sounds true. The gold stars delivery. When Perlman's voice surfaces through Sweet Pea's body, replacing the child actor's slightly awkward, gentle voice, the transition is one of the most disorienting moments in the show. There is no warning. The Lich simply arrives. And what arrives is a specific quality of voice that sounds like it has been saying these things since before the universe. Like this is the 10 millionth time it has had to explain that before there was nothing, there were monsters. It is patient and precise and utterly without urgency. It has all the time in the world. The before there was nothing, there were monsters. Delivery specifically. There is a pause before there were monsters that is brief but specific. It is the pause of a very old being, giving a very young species a moment to prepare for what comes next, knowing they are not adequately prepared, and that the pause will not help, but providing it anyway. It is almost kind, almost. The "here's your gold star" delivery, the final line after the cosmological explanation, contemptuous but not angry. The gold star is not a threat. It is the Lich's characteristic move in this scene, offering the King of Oo the reward appropriate to the education he has just received. You have learned something true about the universe. Here is your gold star. The delivery is perfectly calibrated between contempt and a kind of cosmic exhaustion. He has given this explanation many times. He will give it many more. The whisper's delivery through the severed hand, more urgent than the gold star's delivery, because the hand is trying to convince Sweet Pea to accept the Lich identity. There is an edge in the urgency, not desperation, but intensity. The Lich, through the hand, is trying to reclaim something. Perlman calibrates this precisely, still controlled, still deliberate, but with a quality that something is at stake, that is not at stake in the gold star's scene. The voice is inseparable from the character. Recasting the Lich with any other voice actor would produce a different character. The specific combination of weight, patience, flatness, and ancient authority that Perlman brings is what the Lich is, vocally. The show knew what it needed when it cast him. Thank you for spending all of this time with the show's finest villain. He is the most complete thing Adventure Time built. More complete even than Simon's arc, which is also complete, because the Lich's arc spans the full show and its entire extended universe of specials and spin-offs, and reaches, finally, to the most devastating punchline in the show's history. He served his god for 65 million years. His god made him a Tetris block. Tree trunks made him a mountain. The Lich was trying to earn Golb's recognition. He earned Tree Trunk's love, not what he was looking for, better than what he was looking for. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back. Good night. Expansion, the appendix of key episodes and canonical sources. For the record, every claim in this video is sourced from the Adventure Time wiki. Specific episode transcripts or confirmed production information. Here are the key sources. Gold Stars, Season 6, Episode 26, January 29th, 2015. Written and storyboarded by Seo Kim and Somvile Xiophone. Sweet Pea's first day of school. The Lich's Gold Stars monologue confirmed by the episode transcript on the Adventure Time wiki. Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing. And before there was nothing, there were monsters. Here's your gold star. Escape from the Citadel, Season 6, Episode 2, April 21st, 2014. Written and storyboarded by Tom Herpich and Steve Wolfhard. The full Citadel monologue confirmed by the episode transcript and by IMDb's quotes section. Fall, you are alone, child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning. I will command a great and terrible army, and we will sail to 1 billion worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength. I am the end, and I have come for you, Finn. Whispers, Season 9, Episode 13. The Lich's names, the Ceaseless Wheel, and the Last Scholar of Golb, confirmed by the Adventure Time wiki and the TV Tropes recap. Fiona and Cake, Jerry, and Casper and Nova. The Extinct World, the depression after completing the mission. The Lich, prostrating before Golb. The Tetris block transformation, all confirmed by the Adventure Time wiki on the Lich, Extinct World. The Scholars of Golb wiki confirms the Scholars of Golb are beings who study Golb's philosophy and ways, dedicating themselves to chaos and the extinction of all life. And the Scholars of Golb, exemplified by the Lich as the last scholar, do not aim for omni-extinction. The confirmation that omni-extinction was the method, not the goal. The TV Tropes character page on the Lich confirms, well done, Sun Guy. Fiona and Cake's finale reveals that he only wants to kill everything because he thinks it will impress Golb. Golb didn't seem appreciative. Evergreen, Season 6, The green comet's arrival in the Cretaceous period and connection to the Lich, confirmed by the Catalyst Comets Wiki. The GOLB Wiki confirms GOLB as the embodiment of chaos, entropy, and disorder. Notes: in Come Along With Me, it is hinted that the Lich was created by Golb's breath. The Lich character Wiki confirms the Lich's essence was deposited on Earth via the green Catalyst Comet. Confirms his physical form emerged through the mushroom bomb. Confirms his motives for extinction were in devotion to Golb, revealed in Casper and Nova. These sources, assembled, constitute the full canonical account of what the Lich was really trying to do all along. The show built it carefully across 10 seasons and 4 years of specials and spin-offs. It is all there if you look for it. The answer: he was trying to impress Golb. He became a Tetris block and a mountain. Golby was not impressed. Tree Trunks was. Good night. Final reflection. The Lich as a lesson in misdirected devotion. The Lich's story, read as a complete narrative from his hero through Casper and Nova, is the show's most sustained meditation on what happens when devotion is directed at something incapable of receiving it. He was the last scholar of a philosophical tradition organized around chaos and extinction. He was devoted completely. He was disciplined, patient, intelligent, and consistent in ways that most beings, including most heroic beings, are not. His devotion was real, and his execution of its demands was extraordinary, and the thing he was devoted to was not capable of seeing him. Golb cannot acknowledge a scholar because Golb is chaos, and chaos does not acknowledge. Golb cannot reward devotion because Golb cannot recognize devotion. Golb cannot provide what the Lich needed because what the Lich needed was relationship. And Golby is a principle, and principles do not have relationships. The Lich was devout to something that could not be devoted to. This is the show's deepest dark. Not the extinction of all life. That's dark, obviously, but the specific darkness of a being who spent more time than humans have been anatomically modern, trying to reach something that cannot be reached, doing everything that devotion demands, and being turned into a Tetris block at the end. And then, Tree Trunks, the other side of the same coin, the same essence, in a different body, given a different context, finding what it needed in the smallest possible form. The extinction principle offered love instead of divine indifference, becoming a mountain in a living world. What the Lich was really trying to do all along: to matter, to be seen, to have his existence acknowledged by something larger than himself. What would have served that need? Tree Trunks. What he chose instead? Golb. You can't always get what you need. Sometimes what you need is an apple elephant making pie in a small house at the edge of the world, waiting up for you with the light on. Good night. And one last thing, which I want to say directly. The Lich telling the King of Oo, before there was nothing, there were monsters, is also the Lich telling us something about himself. He is one of those monsters. He knows what he is. He has always known what he is. The extinction principle has no confusion about its nature, no uncertainty about its purpose, no ambivalence about the goal. He is the one being in Adventure Time's entire world who is fully, completely, utterly certain about what he is and what he is doing. And that certainty led him to a pile of bones in a dead universe with a robot calling him Jerry. Certainty about what you are and certainty about what will make you whole are different things. The Lich had the first and lacked the second completely. He needed Tree Trunks. He built a dead universe trying to get Golb's attention. The monsters that predate nothing do not always know what they need. Neither do we, but we have more options than GOLB if we are paying attention. Good night. Subscribe. Come back. Good night. And if you're lying awake now, if you're thinking about the Lich sitting on a pile of bones while BMO calls him Jerry, about the gold star delivered to the King of Oo in contempt, about the Tetris block floating in GOLB's orbit, about the mountain that used to be Sweet Pea, that's right, that's the show working. The show was always trying to find you wherever you are and land with its full weight. It found you. It was always trying to. Good night. And one thing more, the Lich, in the extinct world, allows Simon and Fiona and Cake to leave. He does not kill them when he could. He has lost the will to do what he spent 65 million years doing, not because he changed, because he succeeded and found nothing. Because the completion of the devotion revealed the devotion's object to be incapable of providing what the devotion was really seeking. He lets Simon go.
Simon, who has been trying to find Betty. The two most devoted beings in Adventure Time's world, the Lich devoted to Golb, Simon devoted to Betty, pass through the same moment. Simon finds his way back. The Lich finds his Tetris block. The devotion to Golby and the devotion to a person produce different outcomes. Simon went toward a person. The Lich went toward a principle. Simon found something. The Lich found a floating geometric shape, and BMO, calling him Jerry. The show has been saying this all along. Go toward the people. The principles will handle themselves. Go toward the people. Good night. And the ceaseless wheel turns. Not forever. Everything ends. Even the principles end. Eventually, when the universe reaches maximum entropy and there is no longer any distinction between order and disorder, and the extinction principle has nothing left to extinguish, and the heroism principle has nothing left to protect, both wheels stop, the universe reaches its end, and before there is nothing again, the show does not tell us what comes after, but we know what came before. There were monsters, and one of them needed tree trunks, and got her eventually, in a different body, in a different world. Good night. Closing note on the specific quality of what the Lich adds to the show. I want to end on something I think is worth saying explicitly, because it is easy to watch Adventure Time and appreciate the Lich as a compelling villain without fully registering what he adds to the show's emotional architecture. The Lich makes everything that lives in the show matter more. Every episode in which Finn and Jake go on a small adventure and help someone and return home, every episode of ordinary heroism and ordinary friendship and ordinary kindness exists against the background of the Lich. The warmth of the show is warmer because of the cold that is always present somewhere in the lore. The love between Simon and Marceline is more important because the extinction principle is real and has been working toward their end for 65 million years. The specific gentleness of tree trunks making pie in her small house matters more because the thing she is making pie in the vicinity of is the last scholar of Golb. The Lich does not diminish the show's warmth, he intensifies it. Every warm thing in Adventure Time is warm against the background of what the Lich is. The candy colours exist against the ruins that the extinction principle's activation helped produce. The adventures happen in a world that the extinction principle came very close to ending. BMO singing to Jake in Come Along With Me happens while the Lich's power is active in Sweet Pea nearby, and Golb is consuming the Candy Kingdom. All the warmth, all at once, surrounded by the full awareness of what the cold actually is. That is Adventure Time. That has always been Adventure Time. The candy colours are real. The extinction principle is also real, both at the same time. The warmth inside the ruins, the song inside the apocalypse. The apple elephant, holding the hands of a monster, while he cries from a nightmare. Before there was nothing, there were monsters, and the monsters needed someone to hold their hands too. Good night. Subscribe if you haven't. You know the words by now. Come back. Good night. And before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing, and before there was nothing, there were monsters. And one of those monsters sat alone on a pile of bones in a dead universe, and a small robot called him Jerry and tried to be his friend. And in another world, that same monster was held by an apple elephant who said it was just a dream. Both of those things are true. Both are the Lich. Both are what the show built across 10 seasons and multiple specials and decades of fan devotion. Both are the full picture. Here is your gold star. Good night. Thank you for all of it, for being here, for caring enough about a show that ended in 2018 to spend tonight thinking about its finest villain and what he was really trying to do. He was trying to do what all of us are trying to do, at some level, to matter. He just chose the wrong direction. We all do sometimes. Good night. And one final thought on BMO, calling the Lich Jerry. BMO, in the extinct world, is alone, the only survivor, the only functional entity in a dead universe. And BMO, being BMO, befriends the Lich, gives him a name, tries to be a friend to the thing that killed everything else. BMO is incapable of not caring about what is in front of it. The Lich sits on bones, and BMO calls him Jerry and offers friendship, and the Lich is too depressed to destroy him. BMO is the one companion the Lich has in the aftermath of his victory. BMO gave the Lich the thing Tree Trunks gave Sweet Pea, presents, not because BMO is a saint, because BMO doesn't know how not to. The Lich got a Tetris block, and Jerry and BMO and a dead universe. He got the gold star from GOLB, and it was nothing. He got the friendship from BMO, and it was the only living thing in the dead universe. Both stars, different weights. Good night.